So we're back, finally. I know usually at the beginning of the videos I'm like, oh, it doesn't feel like any time has passed at all. I feel like I haven't done one of these videos in literal years. But it's been 2 months since I did Gen 4. I told you why in a couple other videos. Basically, I was busy during the end period of July. That was the last month. So I was not able to get this video out. I had the tier list done though, and unfortunately, when I went to load it up a couple of weeks ago to write the script that I'm reading off right now, which this part's unscripted by the way, in case you couldn't tell. Basically what happened was it wasn't there. So luckily for me, I actually took pictures of the tier list before after I finished it, which is the same thing I did for Gen 2, and I was able to redo that one. But since this is like over 150 Pokemon, I wasn't going to bother with that. So you're looking right now at a picture saved in my camera roll. So if it looks more lifeless than usual, that's why. And when we get to the top two tiers, they are going to be the actual tier list because I need to make some changes to the best of the best tier. But that's not what you guys have to worry about right now. Right now, what you guys want to worry about is the bad tier. Now, the first one is Swanna. And Swanna is like a Pokemon that I just never ever liked. And that's because it's so boring. It's so uncreative. It's Swan-na. Like, at least Duckling is cute. That's why it's in the not fan tier. Swanna? What does Swanna have going for it? It's a swan. Like, at least make it like Swanmon or something. Make it interesting. Give it something more than just being a swan. And the worst part is, probably, if you'd asked me what my least favorite Gen 5 Pokemon would have been, I would not have said Swanna. It would have been like, probably Tranquil or Unpheasant or Simisear or Triagonal or something like that. It's just so forgettable that if you asked me what my least favorite Gen 5 Pokemon, I wasn't even remember Swanna as my least favorite. It's just that bad. And then, of course, the two other Pokemon in this tier kind of go together. Tranquil and Unpheasant kind of universally hated as the worst regional birds, the worst normal flying types, so forth. Tranquil's just ugly. And, like, there are certain Pokemon that are universally hated that I'm more than happy to defend, like Miltank. I love Miltank, and I know that is a very hated Pokemon. But Tranquil, like, I think that Pokemon just, like, deserves the hate. And plus, like, it's not even that interesting. We've had 4 other better normal flying types before this. Like, why a pigeon, you know? It's just so bad. And that also goes for Unpheasant. Unpheasant's a little better because it has the male form. But honestly, especially because this sprite on the tier list was the female sprite, I just put it in the bad tier. I don't really care. It's just so unbalanced with the forms or which. I was like, nah. I don't care enough about Unpheasant to put it in the not a fan tier. It goes straight into the bad tier. So as a reminder, the next tier, the not a fan tier, are Pokemon that I think are bad, but have a redeeming quality or two. So I'm going to speedrun these Pokemon because there's a lot of them. I have the list in front of me. I'm just going to read it straight off. Because there's a lot of them, which is a fortunate sign, because in Gen 4 there was a lot of them in this tier too. So hopefully, Gen 6, not as many Pokemon. Let's hope that streak breaks next time. But, let's start with Duckling. And I already kind of talked about it with Swanna. It's boring, it's Duckling, like, come on. Just the name bothers me, but it's cute. I'll give it that. It is pretty cute, so, you know, it's not all bad. Girder is ugly, and, you know, I don't care for middle stage Pokemon. Watchog, and I guess Patrat too. They're kind of ugly. Like, I'm gonna be honest, I don't care for many of the regional rodents. Like, off the top of my head, Rattatta's okay, probably because it's Gen 1. Sentret's at least cute. Zigzagoon's fine. And then I would say all the ones coming up from Gen... What gen is this? 5? Sorry? To Gen 8. I don't care for any of them, if I'm being completely honest. So, they're probably going to be low, like Watchog. But yeah, Watchog, you know it's annoying to battle. It gets like hypnosis in the games, all that stuff. Just don't like it. Woobat. I actually don't know why Woobat was here. It probably should be in the neutral tier, if I'm honest, because I don't hate Woobat. But apparently, Past Me said it was in the not a fan tier, and I'm too lazy to fix the tier list, so you know it's going to chill out in the not a fan tier. But I guess I don't like it because it's just kind of bland. It's cute. I'll give it that. Better than Swoobat for sure. Maybe Swoobat should have been in the not a fan tier. But I don't know why. Probably should have been neutral, but here, Woobat's here. I can't do anything about it. Now, for Simisear, I would love to defend the monkeys. Like I said earlier, I love defending Pokemon that usually get hate if I like them, but I just don't like the monkeys. I'm going to be completely honest. People are like, oh, the first stages are cute. Nah, they're kind of ugly too, not going to lie. The only one I kind of like is Simipour, and that is only because it was one of the first ever Pokemon cards I ever owned. And I think that I put Pampour pretty high up too for the same reason. But the rest of them, I don't even like most of them. But Simisear is the worst defender, mainly because it's ugly. And fire types are usually really cool. Like, fire isn't my favorite type. My favorite type is probably grass or steel. But, like, fire's up there with one of my favorite types. And it's just kind of disappointing to have the fire monkey be the worst of them all. The next three can kind of go together. It's Clang, Gothorita, and Palpitoad. I guess it's the same reason as Girder. It's just ugly. Well, they all are, yeah. Well, I guess the gears aren't ugly, but they're just boring, so. Yeah, they're ugly. Never, ever liked middle stages, except for a very, very few exceptions. Or if it's like one of my favorite Pokemon lines, then I probably like the middle stages. And yeah, don't like middle stages. And then we have Cryogonal, and I don't even know what I'm looking at. Like, Cryogonal just hurts my head. Like, it's a crying snowflake. It's kind of ugly. It's awful typing, awful stats. There's just nothing good going on about Cryogonal, you know? And then finally we have Kiram. I don't know. I've said this about, like, other Pokemon in previous videos, like Porygon 2. It just never clicked with me. Like, I never played Black and White 2. I haven't played Black and White 1 either, actually. It's the only Pokemon games I've never played. But, like, I don't know. Kiram just never clicked with me. It's, like, really ugly. Ice Dragon's cool, but, like, it loses Ice Dragon when it turns into white or black Kiram anyway. So, like, it doesn't last for very long. And I don't know, I don't like white or black Kiram either. I think they're kind of ugly. I'd prefer it if they were one whole dragon again. Like, maybe that'll happen in the remakes. Although, seeing how Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl turned out, that's hopeful thinking. But, I don't know, it's just, I never liked Kiram, you know? Now we're going to move on to the neutral tier. And there was a lot of Pokemon in the neutral tier. That, and in the good tier, so many Pokemon. And I think that's just because 5th gen as a whole is kind of a neutral to good generation. Like, there's a lot of standouts. There's a lot of cool Pokemon. But most of them, honestly, kind of forgettable. And, like, despite the amount of them, most of them are just boring. Like, a lot of them, like, Gen 1, it has the exact same amount of Pokemon as Gen 1. And it's probably because that gen was the first one. But, like, there's a much higher quality of, or, like, the Pokemon in Gen 1 are a lot higher quality than that of Gen 5. And, like, that could just be the Gen 1er coming out of me and saying that. But, like, I don't know. And there's, like, most of these Pokemon are just, like, first stages, like Petalil or Munna or probably some of the monkeys. Or, like, unnotable Pokemon that just, like, I don't care about. Like, the monkeys or Heatmore or whatever. You know, it's just kind of disappointing how many Pokemon ended up in the neutral or good tier. Like, especially considering the previous gens, there was a lot of Pokemon in all the tiers, except for maybe, like, bad tier and best of the best tier. But, like, those are two very specific tiers. But the rest of them had a lot of Pokemon in it. But, like, this one, they're all clumped up in these two tiers. I don't know, kind of disappointing, all I'm saying. There's also a couple legends in this tier. The reason I talked like that was the end of the tiers because it was on the other side of the page, so I do apologize for that. But there's, like, the genies in this tier, which, honestly, I don't prefer one genie over the other. They're all exactly the same in my mind. If I had to pick a favorite, it would be Thundurus, and then it would be Landorus, then Tornadus. But, like, honestly, I don't care about any of them, really. And that's the same for Enamorus and Gen A. I just don't care. And that's the exact same for the Therian forms. That ranking I just did, Thundurus, Landorus, Tornadus, exactly the same as what the Therian forms would be. Obviously, Enamorus isn't coming till Gen 8, but it's probably going to end up in the neutral tier, so look forward to that. Then there's also, Terrakion and Meloetta in this tier. Legends that are like, yeah, they exist. Or sorry, legends and mythicals that exist. And I'm like, yeah, I see why you exist, but, like, don't really care that you exist at the same time. Now in the good tier, I talked about this literally not even that long ago. This is where most of the Pokemon ended up. Literally, even more than what was in the neutral tier ended up here, as you've probably seen in the picture. I actually had to move a lot of the Pokemon I initially placed in the good tier down to neutral, just because of the sheer amount of them. I was like, yeah, I don't like you enough to put you in this tier, go down to neutral. So like, most of the ones in the top layer of neutral probably were in the good tier at some point, and I was like, yep, time to knock you down. And this is where most of the Pokemon that I think are decent ended up. So like, the neutral tier are the ones that I like don't care about. These are the ones that I see them and I'm like, yeah, that's a decent Pokemon, and then don't think much else of it. And it's unfortunate that like I couldn't be like, I love this Pokemon. I'm just like, yeah, it's a good Pokemon, go in the good tier. Or yeah, it's a good Pokemon, but I don't like you enough to put you in the good tier, get in the neutral tier, you know? Like, I wish there was something that grabbed me about these Pokemon, but really, nothing does. So, like, I don't know what else to say. So now it's time for the great tier, which is the tier that I will go into a little more detail about than the good and the neutral tier. So this is where most of my favorite Gen 5 Pokemon end up. Unless you are one of my absolute favorites, you probably ended up here. And at this point, we're transitioning to the actual tier list. So as you can see, I'm scrolling up and down. That's because I'm on the actual tier list. The rest of the tier list is empty. So actually, maybe I won't scroll up and down. So the reason it was still while I was saying that is because there's no point in doing it. But basically, I recreated the great tier and that S tier. But if you had keen eyesight, you would notice that a couple Pokemon moved up to the best of the best tier. But we'll get there when we get to that. But first, I'm going to talk about mostly all of the Pokemon in this tier, so we're going to do it quickly. I usually group them into categories at this part, so that's what I'm going to do now. We have the cute babies, which are Tepig, Snivy, Zorua, Carablast, Cubchoo, Joltik, and I guess Victini also. Most of these guys, I'm like, oh, they're really cute. Or like, they're like Snivy, and I'm like, oh, I really like grass types, so they just ended up here. There's the Pokemon I like because of their great designs, which are Hydreigon, Garbodor, which is a bit of a hot take, Bisharp, Escavalier, Crocodile, Zoroark, Gigalith, Golurk, Scolipede, Crustle, Volcarona, and Haxorus. That was like a mini Pokerap I just did. But these Pokemon I think are the best that Gen 5 has to offer, and I like really like these Pokemon, but like they're not my favorites, so I can't like put all of them in best of the best. There were a lot of these that were in best of the best, and I was like, nah, that's not right, and then I moved them out. But I do like all these Pokemon quite a bit, and they are really well designed or really strong in the game. Then there's Pokemon like Superior or Lilligant that, like I said with Snivy, are really here because I love the grass type, and I think that they're pretty good grass types, so you know, they can go in the great tier. And Dewott is a very interesting exception to the usual I don't like middle stages role, because honestly, Oshawott and regular Samurott, I like Hisuian Samurott, but regular Samurott, I'm not huge on. But Dewott, I don't know. It's like they really stepped up their game when it comes to Dewott, which is weird because Servine and Pignite suck. And that is a loud car. But Pignite and Servine kind of suck, especially as middle stages, but Dewott is an excellent middle stage, so like, I don't know what happened. This happened to Grovyle in the last video, where I don't like the line, but I really like the middle stage. So if this keeps up for all the generations, I will be very impressed, but I doubt it, thinking of what's to come in Gen 6, but we'll get there. And to end off this tier, we have the cover art legendaries. I prefer Reshiram over Zekrom, but it is really close, and I think that both of them are actually really well designed, which is unusual for box arts. I usually like one of them way more than the other one. But these two are actually really close to each other, so you know, good job, Pokemon. You did two really good box art legendaries, and Genesect is just plain awesome. That's why he's here. Now we're on to the highly anticipated S tier, best of the best tier, whatever you want to call it. And these are the Pokemon that are my absolute favorites from Gen 5. Unfortunately, not many of them cracked my top 10, except maybe Chandelure. So, unfortunately, they're not, like, amazing, but these are the five? 1, 2, wait, hold on. Hey guys, great news, I lost the paper. So I'm going to have to talk about these guys off the top of my head. The only one I actually have still... Oh, well, I just lost it on the ground. Oh, no, I lost the other one. This is kind of funny, so I'm going to leave it in. But I have 2 little pieces of scrap paper with the Pokemon S tier that I usually do. I only have one of them, and I believe there was 2 of them. And the only thing I have is on the top, it says pretty good in battle and cool typing, a line, and then Chandelure. So I'm pretty sure I lost the paper that had Dwebble, Litwick, Emboar, and Galvantula on it. So all of those I had to talk off the top of my head. So let's hope I have a good memory and can remember what I wrote down. Because otherwise it's going to go poorly. So I don't have a picture of it pulled up, but I believe Dwebble's first. So Dwebble is just plain cute. Like, it's a hermit crab and a rock. You gotta love the rock crab. And I'm really stretching for what to say about Dwebble. I don't know. What did I put about Dwebble? This has gone so poorly so quickly, but it's kind of funny, so I'm going to leave it like this. Dwebble, it's not really good in battle, but, like, you don't have to be good in battle to be one of my favorites. Like, I just love the little crab. Like, I don't know what else to say. So, next up is Galvantula? Or is it Litwick? I think it's Galvantula. Galvantula is actually my favorite bug type off the top of my head. It just has, like, a really cool design. Electric bug is a really cool typing. Maybe that's who is on the top of the paper. Maybe Galvantula is pretty good in battle and cool typing. Is Galvantula second in the tier list? I thought Emboar was second. Oh god, this is so bad. Alright, Galvantula. Let's talk about Galvantula. Galvantula is cool. It has a really cool typing. It's good in battle. It gets really good moves too. And like, usually I hate spiders, so you know you do a good job as a Pokemon designer when like, one of the things you hate the most in the real world is a cool Pokemon. Like, if you hated snakes and you thought that, like, Seviper was a cool Pokemon, like, that's a good designed Pokemon. Because you're like, even though I hate snakes, that's really well designed. And that's how I feel about Galvantula. So next up will probably be Litwick. And Litwick is one of the Pokemon I actually moved up to the best of the best tier from the great tier. I believe the other one was Galvantula. Litwick's just plain great. I don't know what else to say about Litwick that hasn't been said before. Chandelure is obviously my favorite Gen 5 Pokemon. So the predecessor to Chandelure is obviously going to be really cool. I love the candle. Like, usually inanimate object Pokemon aren't great, but like, he's a candle and he's cute and like, I love him. And like the Soulfire, I know that's what Chandelure is. I believe that's what Litwick is too. Yeah, but the Soulfire part is really cool. I don't know, I just love Litwick. And then finally, before we get to Chandelure, I believe is Emboar. And Emboar is my favorite Gen 5 starter, despite what many people think is the best Gen 5 starter. I like Emboar. And that is really an unpopular opinion, because people hate Emboar, and I don't understand why. Emboar's great. I get it's the 3rd firefighting starter in the world in a row. People say it's the worst of the 3. I actually think it's the 2nd best, because I don't care for Infernape that much, which I know is a hot take. But I love Emboar. It has really good moves. Heat Crash was its signature move, and it was a really good move before it was given to other Pokemon like Colossal and later gens. I don't know. I just really liked Emboar. It has a cool flaming beard. I think that was one of the things in the paper. You know, this would be so much better if I didn't lose that paper. But you know what Pokemon I didn't lose the paper for? My favorite Gen 5 Pokemon, Chandelure. And if the reason this sounds more sophisticated is because I'm reading it off of a paper, unlike the last ones. So Chandelure has an awesome typing. You probably see a theme with the best of the best Pokemon, like there's Bug Rock, Bug Electric. There's a spider on the wall over there. That's terrifying. That is... I hate spiders. That is honestly terrifying. But yeah, awesome typing, just like many other Pokemon in the Great Tier. And the best of the best tier also. So yeah, fantastic design. I love Chandelure's design. It's just so sleek. Whoa. I had a bit of a lisp there. Yeah, it's really cool typing. Not really cool. Oh my god, I'm a mess. Yes, it has a really cool typing, but we're talking about the design. It has a really nice design. I love, like, the Soulfire lore part of it. I love how it, like, camps outside of hospitals. It's an inanimate object Pokemon done right. It's fantastic in battle. And here's a fun story for you. Pokemon Showdown in my team, there's a shiny Chandelure with a combination of Will-O-Wisp and Hex. It was usually my lead when I played. It's good for Pokemon like Landers because they really want to set up like Swords Dance turn 1, Swords Dance turn 1. So what you got to do is you got to burn it, and then you got to Hex it until it dies. And if they don't switch out, then you get a lot of damage done on Landers, which is a huge threat in this gen. It's just overall a great Pokemon. Like, honestly, I love Chandelure. I don't think that's a hot take either. I think people unanimously love Chandelure, which is great. It's a great Pokemon, deserves the love. But I believe that is the end of this video. And I'm sorry if the audio was significantly worse in this video. I am trying something to make it easier for me while editing, and that is that I'm going to do it all in one take. So there is a pause button on the audio recorder, so if there's a weird cut, it's because I paused it and I started talking again. Usually after each tier I did that. But yeah, if it sounds worse and there's a lot of pauses or and then you know why. That's because it's all in one take. But thank you all for watching another one of these videos. We're done with Gen 5. We are more than halfway done at this point. Gen 4 was the halfway point, so we are making our way towards our end. Look forward to Gen 6 in September. Will be out on time, I promise. As well as followed by Gen 7 in October, Gen 8 in November, and Gen 9, hopefully, in December. But that is all. You all are amazing. I appreciate anybody who watches my videos, especially the last one. I don't know why the Radiant Eevee box got like 100 views in one day. I mean, I'm not complaining, but like, if there was one Pokemon card video to blow up, I'd rather it be one of the ones where I actually got hits. Because that box gave me nothing. Spoiler alert. But thank you for the views anyway. I always appreciate it. I appreciate everybody who watches these videos. You all are the best. Keep being amazing. And thank you. Thank you so much for watching. And have a wonderful rest of your day. See ya.